let's talk about the CONFLUX challenge in Vault of Glass, specifically on Master. This video, I'm going to try to just kind of show you the very easy but extremely consistent strategy of completing the challenge via just spawn trapping enemies, to be completely honest with you. So, preferably, you're going to want maybe 3 people with the Hager Scepter and the Catalyst. Preferably, 1 for each section. That's just me. This is the MVP of the encounter, in my opinion. You're going to see why on screen. Essentially, you can freeze wave after wave after wave after wave of enemies, replenish your super, and then use your Catalyst activation, draining your super, to absolutely nuke champions and wyverns when needed. And I do mean absolutely nuke. Not only do you damage them hard, very, very hard, but you also freeze them so they can't, barrier up. And for wyverns, they just kind of get staggered in place. They don't freeze, but you keep stunning them so they can't move, essentially. And you just drain them down until they're a low health bar and ready to just be killed when they start sacking on the CONFLUX. This gun is nuts. I can't stress it enough. You 100% need to run this with Revenant or Shadebinder if you own this with the Catalyst. Like I said, would divide 1 person on each side with this gun because the out of control is crazy. Now, class-wise, obviously, if you're Hunter, go Revenant. Invis is a good option as well, but if you own Aggers with the Catalyst, Revenant is 100% the way to go. For Titans, the ideal situation would be Thunder Crash because you can just save your super for when you need it when a Wyvern is sacking to kind of guarantee that you definitely get the kill and you don't start getting overwhelmed by other enemies or like having 13 things sack at a time. And finally, for Warlock, I recommend Shadebinder. Not only does it have synergy with Hager Scepter and Mantle of Battle Harmony, essentially giving you free super energy non-stop, but also Shadebinder obviously has the Stasis Turret, Bleak Watcher, which is extremely valuable in an encounter where you must slow down and kill wave after wave after wave of trash mobs and some giant chickens. Now, other than Hager Scepter, weapon-wise, I'd recommend Arc Bows / Arc Auto Rifles. The reason for this is because there's Harpies in this encounter and all of them have Arc Shields. There are no other elemental enemies in this encounter, so Arc is definitely the way to go in terms of your energy. So for me personally, I use Arsenic Bite, Arc Bow. You could also use the Iron Banner one or the one from this season from the Umbral Machine. Then you have Arc Auto Rifles, which basically is Shadow Price or the number, I believe, off the top of my head. Shadow Price can roll Disruption Break, it can roll Overflow. It's a depth, so it can roll like big ones if you care about that for breaking the shield. Yeah, that's basically it. It's really good for this encounter. And if you don't have that, you can use the number. It's a world drop, pretty easy to get. That's basically the 2 options. Obviously, you can tinker with whatever you want, but that's what I would go with. And then for heavy, you have either a Spike Nade GL, Rocket Launcher with Lasting Impression. If you're really, really cocky, you can use a sword as well. And then there's, of course, 1000 Voices in Anarchy, 1K being the superior one this season because of the insanely stupid artifact buff. You can use 1K to kind of finish off Wyverns when they're sacking, as well as beam champions when your teammate is either stunning them or freezing them. And it makes quick work of everything. So, overall, really good. Encounter-wise, you want to go ahead and abuse that top left pillar for the left side enemy spawns. It makes quick work of the enemies, especially if you have Scepter, as you'll see in the footage here. And then you can just kind of be pretty safe overall, in general. And then middle side, I'd recommend you do a little left middle, right middle split, so you're not getting beamed by Templar, but you can still watch the center of the map so nobody gets hit from behind. And then right side kind of gets the short end of the stick, with Templar kind of having a great angle on them, as well as the Wyvern spawning like 5 inches from them at like a front view. So you kind of want to need to play the staircase a little bit, maybe behind the pillars. And then once enemies show up, again, Hager Scepter, kill 1, freeze them, buy yourself some time. It is extremely consistent and very, very, very good. Last thing I want to note is don't be afraid to switch between a bow and an AR in the middle of encounter. If you don't know, you get barriers and wyverns during the first phase of the fight, or first half of each phase of the fight. And then when Fnatic music starts playing, that's when overloads will spawn. First round there'll be 1, and then after that there'll be multiple. When the music hits, that's how you know it's time to switch guns, basically. So me personally, I'll start with an AR, for example, and use that for barriers if I need to, if I'm not just destroying them with Aggers. And then once the Fnatic music hits, I quickly swap to my bow, and then once the Fnatic music hits, I quickly swap to my AR. That way, if overloads are coming my way, I can stun them at the very least to buy my teammates time, or just outright kill them myself, one way or the other. So don't be afraid of doing that option if you're, you know, comfortable with it, of course. And that's generally it. Other than that, it's just basic tips. You know, play safe. Don't spam your super on things that don't need it. For example, don't thunder crash goblins. Just save it for wyverns or champions if you're in a pinch. And that's generally it. Hopefully that helps you guys. It makes quick work of the challenge if you have a coordinated team. So good luck. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, sub, all that. Notification bell. It does really help the channel. Also, I stream daily on Twitch, twitch.tv/TakeAViewer. I'll see you there. All right. Goodbye.